Are you having communication issues in your relationship? Do you find that even when you try to communicate, I mean, the conversation they just escalate and it gets worse, and you find yourself in this dance of communication conflict all over again? Well, you're in the right place. If you're struggling in that area, come join us. What's up, Brave Arts community? This is Sean Heineman, your premier pre-engagement coach, back with another segment of It's Scary to Marry, inspiring you to love fearlessly. We have a first-time guest with us today, and for some odd reason, I just feel like this isn't going to be her last time. But let me introduce you to today's guest. She is anointed, powerful. She is a faith based leader, revolutionary thinker, and transformational voice for this generation. A first generation pastor, best selling author of several books, and sought after speaker. She empowers others to break barriers, build wealth, curate healthy relationships, and step into their God given role. As CEO of Rucker and Associates Consulting Group, LLC, and founder of the Women's CEO Network, she equips visionaries to create generational impact. Bold, unapologetic, and kingdom minded, Dr. Rucker shifts mindsets, dismantles strongholds, and activates leaders. Bravehearts community, let's show some love to Dr. Amy Rucker. How are you doing this evening?
I am absolutely wonderful, and it's an honor to be here. Hopefully, you can hear me well.
Yes, you are good. I can hear you. Yes, this is going to be an amazing episode. How do you turn conflict into conversation? Because we talk about communication a lot and conflict resolution, but I think these questions are going to be um, powerful. That's going to definitely be able to help the viewers or someone who might be struggling in this area. I want to talk about the first step. So, what's the first step to turning conflict into real conversation?
Well, I believe that the first thing we need to understand is that there's a misconception concerning conflict. Conflict is inevitable, so conflict is not necessarily bad. It is just something that should be used as a discovery point. Um, so when you understand that conflict does a few things for you, like there's three things that conflict always does. It reveals people's hearts concerning you, it reveals their motives concerning you, and it reveals their intentions. Have you ever, like, and this is me talking to you, um, you notice when people have conflict, how they truly feel comes up. So conflict should definitely be your discovery point. Like, oh, now I know how you really feel. Because when people are upset, they usually say the true meaning, their true feelings. Or when conflict arises, I'll disconnect because it'll so that's how it'll reveal the motives. Like if a disagreement leads to disconnect, we were never really connected anyway.
Mm, wow.
So that's the
See?
first step is just understanding that conflict is inevitable and conflict is not bad. It is a discovery point to see what we really made of.
Mhm. That's good. Yeah, because some people they're quick to shut down.
Yeah.
That's like some people's I won't say coping mechanism, but some people they leave. Hey, I need a breather. I'm out. I need some time apart, and they don't come back until 2 hours later. It's like, well, what happened? you know. But I've learned in
Well,
my
2 hours isn't bad if you need the 2 hours. Just, I know the Bible says it like this: don't let the sun go down on your wrath, meaning we can't go to bed angry. If we need a moment apart to clear our minds, then that's okay. But if we are going days and weeks and months with unresolved issues, that's when there's a problem on hand. So a few hours is cool. You might need to go to your mama house or go with your friends, go with your boys to play the video game or go to watch the football game. So then you can take your mind off of it and you can get out of your initial reaction, which is normally done in your flesh.
that's good. So you're saying I can go and catch a movie if I need to take a break? Can I go catch a movie and then come back?
Yeah, if you need to, if you
Okay.
need to, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
no,
talk
for
about
sure.
how that happens and when you need to walk away.
No, for sure, for sure. I love it. Yeah, this is a good conversation already. And so, why do so many people shut down instead of talking it out?
Why do they shut it down instead of talking it out? So, ask me the question one more time.
Mhm. Why do so many people shut down instead of talking it out?
Well, one, because it feels safer to be less vulnerable.
Mm,
Silence feels safer than vulnerability. Let me just say it that way.
mm,
Many people learn that speaking can lead to a few things. It could escalate this situation. It can lead to an outcome that I really don't want. It can lead to rejection. So my silence feels safer. So a
mm,
lot of people will shut down versus speak up, not understanding that there's a time for silence, but there's also a time to express your grievance. And yeah, so I'll just say that is because the simple fact that you can't everything can't be swept under the rug.
yeah, that's true. And I think that's where, well, I know that's why I know I struggle with in my first marriage. I was married for almost 15 years, and I was more of like keep the peace kind of person.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, and so I was kind of more of like a keep the peace kind of person. But I realized how much that hurt me later in my marriage because I was somewhat uh, growing when I grew up in that era of children should be seen and not heard. That kind
Mhm.
of stunted my growth, if you will. No shade to Mama. Shout out to everyone that's joining us tonight. If you have any questions for our guests, feel free to drop them below. And so that's where I struggle with being open and being vulnerable because I just didn't feel safe. And so I didn't realize that until I was like in therapy. I was like, oh, this is why I'm struggling. So,
In an instant for men, can I give a reason to
oh,
women
yeah,
why men probably shut down?
please.
Is because one, usually 9 times out of 10, a woman weaponizes his vulnerability. The thing that he told her, she will regurgitate when she's angry. And so, usually, what happens is a man will never tell you again once you weaponize his vulnerability. If you ever want to lose trust in your relationship, is to tell me something that I thought was a safe space. Like, give me something that I gave you that I thought I can trust you with, and I'll never share anything else with you again. So, women, if your man constantly shuts down when there is a fight, somewhere along the line, you used his vulnerability against him, and now he no longer feels safe.
Mm. Can we talk about that in detail? Can you talk about that a little bit more? Because I mean, I hear it, but coming from the doctor, I need break it down for us, please. Help some sisters out.
Well, a man's like the Bible is so full of so many lessons. So I hope this is a safe space for me to utilize that because it is the book of life, and it is a great place where I get wisdom from. And there's a particular story in the Bible. There is this man named Samson and a lady named Delilah, and so uh Delilah's method or her morals was probably unethical, but her method was worth studying. And something I discovered is that it wasn't when he was spending money that it mattered. It wasn't when he was taking her on trips that mattered. It wasn't, and now this is not in the Bible, but we're using it in today's
Right.
time, right? It wasn't when he was buying her things, but it was when he was able to lay his head in her lap and release his secrets. That's when it became real, right? And so what women usually do is you can become a safe space, but don't use it because we will get it. We'll get to the thing. We'll be that safe space, and then we'll lose it with our mouth. In a moment of anger, we'll say things, and the Bible says, "Oh, like a wise woman can build it up, or she can tear it down, and it's with her mouth." And so, one of the things we have to stop doing is reacting versus responding, because a lot of what we're doing is we're reacting because our feelings is hurt in the moment, but a response requires you to sit back and think about what it is that you're about to say,
Mm,
because there is consequences that come with the next thing. The police teach you that. You have the right to remain silent, and anything you say and do will be used against you. So so
That's good.
sometimes just exercise the right to just remain silent.
Wow, that
I
is
hope
so
this is
good.
making sense to the audience and to you.
No, you are spot on. Shout out to Michaela because she's showing some love on TikTok. She said that's right. She said she's right. So yeah, so no, you are no, we are agreeing. I think it's important because there are a lot of men when I talk to guys, they say I just refuse to tell her how I feel because she's going to use it against me. And she was the only person that I ever told that to. And the minute she
Yeah,
found out I was human, right? The minute she found out I was human, it came up.
yeah,
And this could have happened 3 or 4 years ago, and he's still like, nope, nope. We married, but I don't trust her.
right. And that's the most dangerous space to be in, because guess what? He will either withhold it and internally keep it, which cause internal wounds or self-inflicted wounds, or he'll find somebody else to be the safe space that he could tell stuff to. And you never want to lose that position where you're the safe one. I tell women there's a lot of S's we need. Saved is one of them, sexy is one of them, substance is one of them, but safe is necessary. Being a woman that is safe. And I know I have a lot of great influences, male figures that are amazing. And people are always asking me, how do you have such great relationship with men? I said, because I'm safe. I learned how to be safe.
How did you learn how to be? Can you? I mean, I guess you're giving the
No, we
secrets
go
away
for it.
tonight. But okay, so how did you develop that for women who might be struggling in that area?
I learned an era.
Mm,
I remember because I know this talk is about remarrying, right? So I learned from my mistakes. I was married for 10 years, and in the process somewhere along the line I made that same mistake, and I remember asking God. I said, God, show me the errors in my ways. And one of the things he said you got wrong, he says you weaponized his vulnerability. And so I never wanted to make that mistake again. And so now when men tell me their secrets, when they tell me their fallacies and their flaws, I make sure I just take it to God, and I try to provide them the best counsel from a biblical standpoint that I can give them. And watch this, with their permission, because I will ask them, do I have permission to tell you the truth? Because if you don't want the truth, I will not share.
we can end the show right there. I mean,
I get
this
their
is
permission.
so
I
good.
do. I'd be like, hey, do you mind if I share something? I do not volunteer information that was not wanted,
Mm,
because everybody do not want your advice.
that's true. That is so true. Yeah, I tell people that. Yeah, yeah, your advice is yeah. If they didn't ask, then keep it to yourself.
And you see it in conflict, because I know we're talking about conflict. I didn't ask you for your, and you have to self correct. I think part of being safe is you have to have awareness. You
Yes.
have to be accountable, and you have to be willing to adjust and realign. Like, okay, wait, that didn't work. Because I think the biggest issue with conflict with people is they're too busy trying to be right versus the result that they want, versus getting the result that they want. I'm fighting to be right versus fighting to get the result that I desire. I always tell people, when you mature, you let go of being right to get the result. We all on vacation fighting because I want to be right. And now I can't even enjoy the time we supposed to have together. So I miss out on the whole result that could have been, because I was too worried about being right. I
Mm.
listen, don't I hope this is helping somebody.
You are helping somebody today. days. You got the TikTok land going crazy. No, I agree with everything you said because I mean some of the old school people they used to say you want to be married or you want to be right, you know, and I
That's
didn't get that when I was younger. But I was like, oh, that's what they meant, you know. And that doesn't mean that you always have to acquiesce and always
no.
play play second fiddle. But are we tackling the problem? And something I learned for myself is not to be so defensive whenever my wife bring things to me. And I had to learn that. Like that took a long time to not be so defensive. And so I can hear her with a different ear now that I'm healed in that area. And so before it was just like, oh, we going okay, you saying this or I'm gonna say, and that wasn't healthy. And so I'm glad you said that because we need to have that safe space. We need the vulnerability because there's a lot of people that's out there that's trying to get us, and we don't we don't want that at home.
Right. Right.
So good, so good. And so what role does pride play in keeping arguments alive?
Who you mentioned it just a while ago. So pride itself, it refuses to yield, and pride needs to win. And that goes to what we were just talking about. I have to be right. I have to win this. No, I'm in control. Pride is what it is. It's pride. And the Bible says like this, the pride comes before the fall. It comes before destruction, right? And so if you ever wanted to collapse, if you ever wanted to keep going, if you ever wanted to fall apart, it's stay in pride. Have to be the one that win. Have to be refuse to lose. And so pride keeps score. It
Mhm.
lacks humility. Humility keeps peace, but pride will keep score for sure. And so we got to know that it only breeds more fights, it
Mhm. Mhm.
disagreement, quarrels. It just breeds more of it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a cycle. It's that dance. It just keeps going. And
Right.
and yeah, pride. Yeah, there's really no pride for in marriage. I mean, I know there's a certain amount of pride I think that you should have as a person, just a certain amount. But when it comes to marriage, that pride it can just literally deteriorate your marriage. And I know when I struggled with pride was I'm telling on my business today, but I mean those who know me y'all already know my business. When I was struggling with that was because I felt like I wasn't protected as a kid. And so I
Mm,
always felt like I had to protect myself.
right.
So whenever anything came up or something I felt like that was coming up against me or and so that whole pride thing would jump in. And I would even say it even maybe hindered some of my growth because I was afraid to ask for help,
Yeah.
that whole thing. And so I was just like, man, why am I in these same cycles over and over again? But
Well,
you
because
gotta
pride keeps you stuck.
yes.
It will not let you move forward. It's restraints that keep you
Mhm,
right where you are.
mhm, mhm.
And it also keep you offended.
Oh
and
my
it,
God.
and, and it's so crazy because and that's why it says pride before destruction, because pride will keep you isolated.
Yeah.
Pride
Hmm.
has people thinking that everybody against them. Pride has you thinking your spouse is the enemy and not the actually real enemy. That's all pride.
Wow.
Like it's so subtle, it comes in, it
Yeah.
creeps in.
Yes. Very subtle. Yeah. And if you're not paying attention, yeah, you will be destroyed
Oh,
if you're not
absolutely.
paying attention. Yeah. Yeah.
You think everybody out to get you, you can't trust nobody. Every relationship you self-sabotage.
Yep. Yeah. And
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 the
even,
and the root of it comes from a heart full of pride.
yeah. And we don't talk about pride enough. I don't think we talk about that enough.
No, we don't. We
Yeah.
don't talk about the effects of pride in relationships.
Hmm. Hmm.
Pride won't even let you apologize. So the reason why you haven't fixed it is because you're too prideful. You too prideful to just say, you know what? I messed up. I'm sorry. So you finna destroy something that God could have possibly sent you because you're not willing. Forgiveness is a key ingredient. Grace is a key ingredient for a marriage. Because remember, we're not just talking about dating, we're talking
Mm,
about marriage here. And if you are unforgiving, the chances of anything lasting is slim to none.
yeah. Yeah. And then your spouse feel like they're in a losing marriage because they know you struggle with pride because they know you're not going to apologize.
Right. And
Yeah.
this is how pride is so subtle. Let me give y'all some hints. If you find yourself saying, "Oh, they just stuck in their ways. Oh, they ain't gonna never change," that the root of that is just pride.
Yeah. Can't teach
Like,
old dog new tricks.
right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just Harold. My husband, Harold, always gonna be he always
Right.
gonna be Harold. Yeah. Yeah. And they've gotten so used to it that they've accepted it. Oh, Harold ain't gonna change. Harold, baby, you know Harold gonna be Harold.
Until it blows up, until it blows over, until grace runs out, until you can no longer take it, and now you're a divorce court because you really are dying on the inside. You're trying to hold on, you're fighting silent battles and secretly. Oh, it's just Harold is a war cry. It's really a
Mm,
cry that, man, I'm something's really happening in here, but I'm trying my best to hold on. I'm trying my best to look good for social media. I'm trying my best to put up a good front. But all that just Harold comes with pain behind it. A
mm,
trained ear, a healed ear will hear that. Be
mm.
like, yeah, because we know behind that, oh, that's just Harold, my needs aren't being met. My voice isn't being heard.
And they're dying on the inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you really want change. You really want growth. You really want a new spark. You want something new. And you don't even know how to get it because that's just Harold.
My
And
God.
Harold can't hear it because pride. We done talked a lot about pride. I didn't even mean to go that far as it relates to pride.
No, no, this is good because you never know who might need to hear this. And hey, I got notes, but God, let God have his way. You know what I'm saying? You just never know
Right.
who might need that. Because it's definitely a real thing, and unfortunately, it's a slow killer in a lot of marriages. And there's a lot of people who wondering, how did our marriage die? Like, what happened? Oh, it's pride.
It
And
is.
to have to apologize. I remember my old mentor, he used to tell me about being the example. He's like, Sean, you have to be the example. And so I was like, okay. So it's like, okay, if I want to create change, change starts with me.
Yeah.
And so with my wife and I had to I had to be that example for whatever it is that I was in need of or whatever. It's like, okay, well, let me be the one to apologize or let me be the one to extend some grace and this isn't like no shot at my wife or anything, but this is just me being the example. And so that's when we start to reciprocate that, okay, I see how she did this, or I see how he did that. Okay, we're gonna look out for each other, that whole kind of thing, because there'll be things she'll approach me with, and I was like, oh, and then all of a sudden she'll show me this level of grace, and I was like, oh, I need to extend that grace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because she's extended it to me, and I know how good it feels to have that grace. You know.
Grace is needed. It's going to be needed because here's the thing, who you married at 20 is not going to be the same person at 25. It's not going to be the same person at 30. Definitely not at 35. Don't throw in kids. Don't throw in career changes. Don't throw in elderly parents. Don't throw in sickness or disease. Don't throw in loss of jobs or bankruptcies because all of that alters who you are. And if you can't navigate those spaces with grace, you will lose every time because it changes you. And we don't realize, and if I could say this to somebody that's listening, relationships are simply mirrors. They
Yep.
show you who you really are. If you are a cheater, it will expose you. If you are bad with time, it will show you. If you're selfish, it will show you. And especially marriage show you the good, the bad, and the ugly of who you are. And so relationships are just a reflection of what's internally in us. And we don't even realize it. And sometimes we wonder why we keep getting the same thing, the same old joker in the same old spirit, but a different name. Is because we have yet to sit in the mirror and reflect that something in me has to be altered in order for me to get a different result. I have to
Mm,
show up different. I have to speak a little different. I have to be a little sweeter. I have to be a little approachable. Women, I'm talking to us. I have to be a lot less manipulative. I don't need to fight for the right. I need to fight for the result. And so so because it's a lot of manipulation. A lot of times women don't realize they just want compliance. They don't even they just want men to comply. And so we gotta change those things about us in order for us to get different results. And don't let this culture, like,
mm.
don't let them cheat you out of what God really has for you, because the culture can shape your identity in a way where it's not good for you.
Yes.
Like, if you want to be a wife, well, they'll call you a pick me because you want to be a wife. They'll call you a simp because you actually treat women properly. Like, we are so corrupted and so corroded on the inside that it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and culture, 'cause- and culture is always shifting and it's
It
changing.
is.
As I like, the Bible, it never changes. Heaven and earth will pass away, right? And so it's just like so many people, they will say different things. Like you say, I remember telling my story about how I met my wife online and we married after 6 months. And the comments, "Oh, you simp! Oh, you simp! How you a simp? You?" And I was just like, "Wow!" I was like, "Oh, I didn't know. I thought I was, doing the right thing. Trying to, wife up the wife. But yeah, that's unfortunate that a lot of people and a lot of times people will let social media predict their relationship. They'll feel some kind of way and take that into their home.
Right.
Unfortunately. So how do
So,
we how do we invite God into heated moments?
say it again. How do we invite God into heated moments?
Heated moments, yeah, when we
Okay.
are just at our wits end, when our communication is not hitting. How do we invite God into that?
Well, the first thing you do is pause and pray. Um, you gotta ask God to allow the Holy Spirit to speak through you, and not you to speak through your own flesh. And I think I touched on it earlier. A response is from your flesh, but a react I mean no a reaction is from your flesh, and a response is from your spirit, right? Because a reaction doesn't require you to think. It's like if I go hit my shin on the edge of the bed, I'm allowed to just react,
Yep.
right? Like, oh my gosh. But if when you respond, you sit down and you think about what's getting ready to happen. And so you ask the Holy Spirit to guide your tone, to guide your timing, and to guide your temperament. And those are three T's. You
Mhm.
have to know the tone, the timing, and the temperament, because the tone could put a person in defense.
Yep.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? Timing. We at your work Christmas party, and you say something or do something, or maybe I think you're a little too flirty, or maybe I noticed that Janice, because we know y'all men don't never pick up when women like y'all for
We
some
don't.
reason. Y'all
We
can't
don't.
ever pick up. Now, a woman, our discernment, we know. Oh, I mean, our antlers go, our antennas is like, she likes you. And so we'll pick up, and maybe I'm offended, but it's at the time. to address it there? Is
Mm.
that the time for me to have an attitude? Is that the time for my countenance to drop and I'm around my husband's colleagues and they can see it's not the time? And then the temperament, you have to know how you fight.
Yeah.
Are you one to shut down? Do you get really loud? Are you one that like I have these rules to fighting. I created like a system of like the different type of fighters in relationships, and we
Mm.
probably can save it for another time. If not, I do have an ebook that people can grab from your show or however. And so, temperament, it teaches you about your temperament. Most people don't even know like what type of fighter they actually are.
Yeah.
And so when you understand that about you, you'll be able to fight a little better. But how you invite God, to answer the original question, in moments that are heated, is you pause and you pray and you make sure you understand that what's getting ready to come out of your mouth. Because I think it's Philippians 4 and 6 that reminds us, pray about everything.
Pray without
And that
ceasing.
means even the conflicts.
Mm.
Like, let God govern your mouth. Like, whoop, like, okay, yeah, no, I shouldn't say that. Because if what I'm getting ready to say it leads to disrespect, then
Because the Bible talks about how a gentle answer turns away wrath.
that's true. It
Right.
is.
Yeah. So and yeah, I mean, even just in the book of Proverbs alone would teach you about some communication. Uh, but there's a ebook I wrote about getting into relationships, about starting a new relationship and knowing if you're ready or not. And during the research, I think it was on Psychology Today, they talked about how the majority of us live on autopilot.
Yeah.
And so very few of us take that time to stop and pause, like you said, and to actually think and pray first, because we live in this Amazon age where everything is lightning quick, everything is fast. Amazon will deliver a husband to you if they can, just 24 hours, they'll just send you one, and so when we're on autopilot, everything is set up for us.
Yeah.
But for us to actually take the time to say, God, guide my tongue. And I think that's the importance of having someone who's a believer too, because if you're about to fall out, and this is something that my wife and I have done before too, where we just feel like it's rising, and let's just pray for a second. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that brings the temperature down
Yeah.
and help keep things into perspective. Um, but if you're not married to somebody who might not know the Lord and stuff like that, that might can be a challenge, because they like, no, we need to talk, and you talking about prayer, and they like, I don't know, I need to talk now,
Yeah.
so
And it comes with great emotional intelligence and self-regulation. We can't be so emotional. We have to control our emotions and not let our emotions control us. It is vital. So it's so vital to not let your anger get the best of you and say something that you may regret. Because I know in heated conversations, if I can give you a tip, like
mhm.
for married people, never let the D word fly out your mouth in heated conversations. That is a rule for fighting. I always tell couples to set some rules for fighting. And I don't think people have ever heard that concept is to set rules for even conflict in my house. Like, we don't go to the eyes and the my's and the this and like
Yeah,
it's always us. It's always we. We don't begin like when we have heated. We don't start separating stuff because now you're headed down the road of destruction and you're headed to that big D word. And we're talking about divorce. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when you're fighting, that should not be the result. Well, maybe we should get a divorce. Well, like you're just flying that word around.
yeah,
You do not do that because you'll give your partner a thought that they may have never even had. And you plant that seed enough,
yeah.
it'll have a funny way of growing.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
anything you give a bunch of attention to, anything you water, because when you plant the seed, words are seeds. We have to understand that. And so when we plant it, it will appear in your life if you
Mm-hmm.
speak it enough. Because when God first established the earth, he spoke. So you get the divorce, and maybe we should divorce and divorce. Guess where y'all will be at real soon?
2 years later.
Already activated the seed in a thing.
Yep. Yeah, and that's so sad because it's just almost like a cop out. Let's just get divorced. This is like, really? So we're not just gonna tag team this thing together.
Right.
You know, let's just get a divorce. So how can couples rebuild trust after harsh words?
Repentance.
Mm.
Listen, repentance and responsibility. You gotta take account for what you said without excuses. I wrote a book, and this is not no. I'm not trying to throw no shameless plugs or anything. And
No, because we're
it's
gonna have all
called
this. We're gonna have all this linked in the description. No, talk your talk, doctor. We know
it's
this is
called the
important.
Relationship Roadmap.
Mhm.
And in that book, I talk about some different things as it relates to just conflict and how to apologize, your apology language. We
Yes.
always hear about the love language, but have you heard about the apology language? Do you really know how to apologize? Because some people will give you an apology and think it's an apology, or they'll be sarcastic and they'll be condescending in the process of apologizing. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
Listen, are we talking to anybody? I know for some of y'all might be tuned into the replay, but I pray that this help y'all. Because do you find yourself saying that? Oh, well, I'm sorry, that's condescending, and it's not a real apology. And saying I'm sorry with no change, it's not a real apology. Listening with a defensive ear, looking for it to rebut. Like, so how do you rebuild it? You acknowledge the person's hurt
Mm.
sincerely,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge it. um and then just consistent actions. And so Proverbs, I wrote it down right here, Proverbs 16:24 says, gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bone. So
Yes.
healing begins when humility and honesty meet. When humility and honesty meet, healing can begin. So take some time to acknowledge the person that, hey, I was wrong, I didn't mean to hurt you, and hear them out without interruption, without a rebuttal, without a defensive ear, and just take it on the chin. Like, because sometimes people just really need you to hear them out. They don't even need you to give them a resolution.
Yep. Yep. It's just like, stop talking. Just let them talk.
Just let them get it out.
Yep.
And
My
so healing though is different from like people that is in infidelity. Like if you have the wound of
Oh,
infidelity and the wound of just words, but words is damaging, y'all.
they
Like
are.
there's some stuff you say you can't undo it, you can't unsay it, you can't take it back. Like
Mm.
it's crazy.
And they stick to you. I mean, I can remember some mean stuff. My bully said to me when I was like in fifth grade. I'm like, how do I still remember that?
Hey, if I tell you something that my ex said, you can't even post this. It was so egregious
Mm.
that I was like, but I'm so glad I was healed, y'all. When he said it, I was healed. So it didn't hurt me. But had I not been healed, he was like,
Mm.
you're not worth providing for, you're not worth protecting, you're not worth being faithful to, you ain't worth nothing. I was like, whoa.
Mm.
I was like, well, my God.
Yeah.
I said, well, good thing your words don't matter.
Good response. Good response. Yeah, because that's
Because this is long after. So this was after the divorce. We had like a conversation, and he was, and I thought, and here's the thing: the enemy will use anybody's mouth,
yes.
and the fact that I stayed calm and I stayed peaceful, he didn't know how to respond because I didn't respond in anger.
Yep.
It didn't affect me in any type of way. I didn't even argue back. I just said,
Mhm.
good thing your word don't matter.
Mhm.
Block.
Mhm. Mhm.
Block.
Yeah.
If I'm nothing, then it's best that we have no forms of communication.
Mhm. Mhm. And I like that you said You better be glad I'm healed, right? I love that because you passed the test.
Yeah.
You passed the test. And so because words, especially coming from people that love you, or a spouse and stuff like that, like you said, they come out and they don't you can't take them back, unfortunately. um but we don't take that moment to pause, like you said, to think about what you're going to say. Especially saying it to your spouse who you're going to be married to for the next 30-40 years. It's just like, man, you planted that seed. And that's not saying that God can't heal and restore, but just to
Yeah.
know that those harmful words that you said it, and that it's just like, man. And if
Listen,
you're not healed,
the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak.
speak. Hmm. Hmm.
So, oh, this is how you feel. Well, thank you for letting me know.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
appreciate it.
Hmm. Hmm. Jeez. So what's one phase or habit you've learned that helped you de-escalate tension?
Mm, you said it earlier, right? A gentle answer turns away wrath. Um, Things that help me de-escalate is to know that how I react or respond in the first 3 minutes of the conversation will dictate how it goes. So
Mm,
when people go, like in your spouse goes really high, go really low, get really soft. Um, Take a breath, let them get the anger out, and you just relax. It's hard. It takes practice, because you want to be heard too, and when you feel like you're not being heard, but you got to understand that, when you feel like you're not being heard or understood, you have to provide clarity to that, not combat.
mm, mhm.
And so, taking that deep breath, taking a step back, and really be like, okay, like I hear you. And then watch this, use I statements where, like, to de-escalate things. If I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying this. Example, women. Let me because I love to talk to the women. Um, Example, right? Say your man, he doesn't come home on time a few days, and it begins to bother you. And so you have a complaint that you want to bring before him, or a concern. Let me not say a complaint. So you have a
Yeah.
concern, right, that you want to bring before him. I'm gonna give you two ways, right, to how this could work, and you're gonna determine which one works best for you. I'm getting tired of you coming home late. You're getting on my nerves. You make me sick. Like you might be out here cheating. Versus, now that's the first. That's how a reaction, right? Now let me give you a response. Hey, love. I would appreciate if you could communicate when you're going to be a little late because I'm concerned. You see how it still gave him what you needed, but it provided it. It made it about you and not. So it made it a concern for you while not criticizing him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get that wrong because they criticize when they just have a concern because they don't know how to communicate the need that they have.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
makes me uncomfortable. It makes me feel anxious. It makes me feel, I feel worried. Put it on you, not him. Like what you out there doing? I know
Yeah.
you at that job doing this, and you're out there doing. You see how that's constantly criticizing him versus saying, "Hey, I'm feeling a little insecure. Like I feel anxious. I feel a little worried when I don't know. Like when you're gone an extra 45 minutes, and you usually get home at 7:30, and it is now 8:15." And then he like, "Oh, babe, my apologies. I just stopped and gassed up the cars, or whatever the case may be." But what you think about that, Sean? Did you think about that, Mr. Sean? Like about how people respond with that, because it's gonna dictate, and that's a mechanism on how you de-escalate, is just putting those I statements for yourself, and
Mhm.
then restate what a person says. If I'm hearing you correctly, you said this. So then that way you can get clarity on what's being communicated.
Yes. No, I agree with you 1000%. No, this is wonderful because again, like you say, just the I statements. Hey, babe, I feel like when you're not home, that anything could have happened. I'm just concerned about your well being because
Correct.
me and the kids, we miss you. We want to make sure that you're safe. That whole thing. And if he has that emotional intelligence, where he can be like, okay, he can hear you,
Right.
because it's like she's speaking from a place of love, concerned but love, and so
Right.
she's showing that love, and if you have that heart, you're like, oh, okay, like my girl love me, what I'm saying? She will, so next time when you are running late or life happens, you hear what she said to you a couple weeks ago, and now you like, hey, let me shoot her a text real quick.
There you go.
Hey, babe, I'm running behind. I just want to let you know where I'm at. It might be another 35 minutes. It's been traffic through the roof right now. I'm just letting you know.
And it could be anything. Me and the boys, hey, we closed a big deal at the firm today, and they want to go catch a bite to eat and watch the game a little bit. Or Johnny was having a meltdown, and God is having me minister to him. And so you know what I mean? It could be anything. But like you
Mhm.
said, um, the woman, when you come with that softness and that safety, and it comes to a place where, and you make it about you while you're expressing your need, while not emasculating and devaluing him.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, you don't understand what that'll do for your relationship. I truly hope this has been helpful for y'all.
No, this is powerful. No, this is so good, and it's needed, because when you do take that approach of, oh, why you not home, what you're not doing, all these things, and when you're doing all that, the next time something does happen, the reverse happens, opposed to him texting you before, like he was saying, like he was, hey babe, this is going on, blah blah blah. Now all he hear is you complaining.
The
That's all
nagging.
he hear. Yeah, and he's
We know
like,
what the Bible said about that. It is better to be on the rooftop
rooftop.
than in a house with a nagging.
Ooh, yeah, and I live in Texas. I ain't trying to be on the rooftop. It's
I know,
hot.
and I'm in Vegas, so it's really hot.
Yeah, right.
It'd be
So
120 degrees. You
yeah, I ain't trying to be on the rooftop. No, this is good. Okay, Dr. Amy, I want to kind of shift gears a little bit
okay?
before we got a couple of minutes. And so this is going to be Dr. Amy Uncut, so there's no wrong answer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But before we get started, I do want to take a moment from our sponsor at Love Fearlessly 30 card intimacy deck that my wife and I created. If you are newlywed, if you are on a date for the first time, maybe y'all been going out a couple times and you just want to know them more in a little more deeper, intimate way, this is a great card deck to ask some of those questions. So, Dr. Amy, I want to ask you one of the questions from the card deck.
Oh, on the spot, hot seat. Let's go.
On the spot. Okay. Uncut. All
Hopefully, I
right.
have an answer.
Question. How did you manage hurt and disappointment growing up?
Growing up,
Mhm.
ooh, mm, that's a great question. How did I manage hurt and disappointment? I think when I reflect on who I am today, and this could be good and bad,
Mhm.
that I kind of just brushed it off. Um, I kind of didn't let it affect me. I keep moving. And that could be good. And here's why it's bad, right? It's good because I don't let it attach to who I am. It doesn't affect how I move and treat other people, right?
Mhm.
Because I always tell people we love to say hurt people, but God gave me another perspective. He said, no, unhealed people hurt people, because you could be hurt and still not go hurt others.
Mhm.
Um, but when I was disappointed, I kind of like just brushed it off and dealt with people accordingly. But here's why that's bad as an adult. What it caused me to do is when I would accomplish things, I would just brush it off and keep going. Like, oh, great, I did that. Next. So
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of like this effect where just like on to the next. And I would
Yeah.
just, if I had to cry alone, I would cry. But I do love that God crafted me in a way that I never acted out. Like I don't break and destroy stuff. I'm not fussing
Mm-hmm.
and fighting. Like I've come to a place where uh, everybody in a part of my destiny, and some people are just a part of my history, and it is okay. Like
Yeah.
I'm not. I am at a place in life where I do not beg to be. I don't beg for opportunity. I don't beg for a seat at the table. I will build my own. And I think
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that comes from when you've been disappointed by people, whether it's church leadership, in business, whether it's friends, whether it's relationships. You will put on this exterior that's a little harder, even though while being soft, it is still that strongness that'll be like, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think I don't know if I truly answered that, and that's a great question. And I am gonna actually, I would love for you to send me that so I can write that down and say, man, God, show me how I handled anger growing up and disappointment. Because I used to be a fighter. Never in
Mm.
relationships though, but I will beat you. Listen, I was what I tell people, my deliverance is a little different. I saved don't mean soft. Don't ever get it twisted. so I definitely gotta go ask God, like, God dang, how did I respond? What was
Yeah.
going on with me? That was a great question because you threw me off with that one. That is so good.
Yeah. I know for sure. I think it's a great question because it allows you to just kind of see a little bit behind the veil, not in a judgmental way, but just how, okay, so say, okay, we are together and we talk about this question on a date. And so it just gives me a little bit of your history,
Yeah.
right? And so it's like, okay, so next time when we have an issue, we fall out, something happened, or you might seem,
I'm a
nonchalant or whatever.
communicator though.
Okay. Okay.
I
Yeah.
really am one of those people like, hey, I like to talk about it.
Mm.
Like, let's address it. Because I think that's how. So one of the fighters in the ebook that I wrote is called the teapot, where they just let all these little infractions and disappointments and stuff build up until then they just blow. We
Mhm.
seen it in, I think it was called, it was it Agrimony that Tyler Perry wrote.
Acrimony. Oh yeah, acrimony. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, where she just like, you let all this stuff and then you just boom, like, and you just go
Yeah.
crazy. And I
Yeah.
never wanted to be the teapot fighter. So and I've always been a firm believer, like, let's talk about it. Like we got to come to some type of resolve or resolution, because what happens is, if not, I know I slowly like just
Kind of. Yeah. 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 And I think it's important to know yourself. When you know yourself and you know your triggers and all these other things, um, especially if you have that awareness, you
yeah,
like, oh, this is about to happen. You can help me, Lord. you know. Um,
yeah,
yeah, but it's yeah, great card deck. It helped so many people. There was a guy who bought a set from me, and he said he looked at some of the cards and he said, I never told anybody this. And I was like, wow. And it just helped me to realize. I just had a guest on the show, and he was talking about how men don't feel safe, or vulnerability and that whole thing. So just kind of hearing that, I was like, yeah, that's a struggle with a lot of men, but that's another episode for another time. Um, okay, so I have a couple of questions for you before we end the show, and there's no wrong answer. And
okay.
yeah,
From the
let's go.
decks again, I'm gonna keep them short too. Rapid fire, let's go, 30
Rapid
seconds.
fire. Okay, but if I ask if you're hitting it out the park now, I'm gonna have to stop you because there'll be some stuff in my head.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know. If I say stop, hold on, is because we need more. First question: what's the biggest mistake you see women make when it comes to dating?
um they pick for where they are now. So we have We're picking from preference and not from purpose. Also, I think another one is you mentally marry people too soon.
Ooh,
Meaning, soon
okay.
as you
Can
meet
you talk
him,
about that a little more? Yeah.
yeah. And this is for high value women too. When you mentally marry him, like you see him and you think, oh my gosh, I could, like, this is it. Because what tends to happen is we confuse chemistry with connection, which
Mm,
causes us to mentally marry people quick. And so some things we're rushing is actually chemistry. See, connection is a little slower, chemistry is fast. Because
mm,
I could connect, I could have chemistry with you from the time we meet. We just vibing.
yeah.
But
Yep.
vibes only last a moment.
That's true.
It won't sustain you for a lifetime. And so with women is they have these great vibes and this great chemistry, and they instantly go to mentally marrying men.
Mm, wow. You like
We
this
don't
is
know his
happening.
character yet.
See?
We don't know his mama. We don't know his middle name. We don't, we just know that we felt good and tingly in the moment. And moments will get you messed up.
Wow. That's a word. Ugh. Okay. Fill in the blank. My last relationship taught me.
Ooh. My last relationship taught me that it is okay to fall apart in God.
Mm, that's good.
That you do not have to be the strong one. You do not have to be the fixer. You do not have to be the one that holds it all together. It is okay to fail and fail gracefully. It is
Mm,
okay. You do not have to be the perfect one. You do not have to be, it is okay to take a loss and still win.
amen to that.
Because some people don't realize the greatest blessing is sometimes in the breakup.
Mm, yes.
I
Hallelujah.
hope this is really helping somebody.
Man, this helping somebody. Real. This helping somebody. I love it. I love it. At what age did you fall in love with yourself?
I think I'm still falling in love with myself. I think we talked about it a little earlier, is that I'm constantly becoming and evolving, and I have to love the new me in all the phases of life, right? The me before marriage, the me after having a baby out of wedlock, the me after the divorce, um, the me when the world says we're not good enough, the me that sometimes don't love yourself, right? So I'm always falling in love with me, speaking well of myself, letting me know that it's okay, letting me know that I got this, letting me know that, girl, you are all that in a bag of chips. You are an atmosphere shifter. You are, listen, the apple of God's eye, knowing who I am. So every day I'm learning to love me a little more better, to know
Yes.
that I deserve more, to not accept stuff, set boundaries and keep standards. And hey, don't listen, don't settle for less than what God has shown you.
Mm.
So when did that happen? It's happening every day. Like, if that's an answer, if you will
Oh, yeah.
accept that as an answer.
Yeah, for sure. There's no wrong answer. For sure. Love it. So, who makes a better spouse? Someone never married or someone divorced?
Statistically, divorced people typically get divorced again. Um,
The divorce rates are higher the second time
the second time,
and third.
right? In so forms, but um, that's a great question, because that could be it really depends on the people. So there's really no right or wrong, because if you're a person that didn't learn from the last mistake, you're going to make the same mistakes in the new one. If
That's
you are
true.
one of those people that never did like I did, where it says, God, show me the errors in my ways so that I don't get it wrong in the next one, you're going to make the same, you're going to fall in the same pits. You're never going to get to the palace that you truly could have, because you never learned the pit moments. And so
Mm.
it could go either way. So I think I am a better wife, because I'm a wife now, right? Because you're a wife before you actually get a ring. If people do not know that, that's why it says he who finds a wife. There's girlfriends and there's wives, right? And so or
It's a
concubines.
difference.
I mean, whichever
Yeah,
one you
right.
want to be. Don't want to be nobody concubines. There's a lot of concubines running around, but that's
Ooh, a
neither here
bunch of
nor there. I just need to make you laugh a little bit. But
it's true though. But anyway.
listen, I am a better person because of divorce.
Mm,
I was able to see the chips and the cracks. I was able to see what I needed from a man that I didn't
mm,
get. Stuff that I didn't even know I needed. God is like, you need affection. You need those small touches. You
wow.
you 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 need those words of affirmation. You and not that I'm not affirmed in myself, but there's nothing like a man paying attention to the details and say, "Oh, babe, that's a new dress. They look good on you."
Yeah. Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
"Oh, I just bought you flower. I just sent you flowers to your job because I thought that much about you."
Mm,
That and then me being um in ministry and speaking all over the world, that person that'll just show up. Like I know I need that man that'll say he ain't coming, but I see him in the audience
yeah.
because he
Yeah.
wanted to surprise me. And like I
Mm,
couldn't miss out on your big day type of deal. Right.
yeah.
And so sometimes falling apart shows you the cracks in yourself.
Mm, yeah.
It can show you where you're marred. But watch this, even when we get marred, and I'll close with this, is that God reworks it. He doesn't
Yeah.
even throw it away. There is no battle, no relationship that you really fail. Because if you fail forward, if you let God take it, He will rework that thing so that you can learn the lessons and become a better version of you.
That's right. They say a righteous man falls 7 times.
And He get back up.
Back up.
Girl, get up. Let me look in the camera. Look directly in the camera. Get up.
Get up, boy.
Bro, not even girls.
Yeah.
Men, get up. You need it. You necessary. You are valuable. Like don't let society tell you you don't got no purpose. The reason why the enemy fight you so hard because if you knew who you really were, he know that you would destroy his kingdom.
You will
You
be the
got so
world.
much like men have so much greatness in them that the enemy try he do not want you to discover what God placed on the inside of you. And men
Wow.
and women don't get jealous. I spoke to the men because I've been talking to y'all all this.
I know, right? No, it's all good because I mean, you never know who watching and listening, and so the words you speak are life. So, no, I totally love it. So, what's harder for you to say? Is it A, I apologize, B, I need help, C, I love you, or D, I was wrong?
I don't have an issue with apologizing. I apologize quickly. The I think the second one is going to be the hardest. Hey, I
I
need
need
help.
yeah.
Because what you said, right? When I told you one of those fallacies that happens when people disappoint you and you begin to just do it yourself. And so here's what I learned about women that had absent fathers. And God will give you context to who you are. So when you sit down with God and really discover your broken areas, I didn't have a father growing up. And so what it taught me, it didn't teach me not to trust men because I'm around some amazing men now. But what at the time, what it taught me was I'll just do it myself.
Mhm.
And so when you're used to doing everything yourself, it's hard for somebody to come in and help.
True.
It's hard to just be a receiver when you've been the one always making it happen for everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. Yeah, and that's the episode within itself because there's so much I want to say about that as far as the value that a woman brings, um, just her presence. And my old pastor, he used to always say, "You never make an important decision without a wise woman in the room." You know,
Because she
and
don't see some details you don't see. I'm telling you, because the discernment that and the intuition that God gives a woman, when you connect it with logic of a man, it is a force to be reckoned with.
that's why marriages are powerful. It's like, hey, if we really understood the true meaning of marriage, uh, we could really make some noise. But anyway, that's another episode. Last question: is it easier to love yourself or someone else?
Um, if I would put it in a ministry lens,
Mhm.
it's easier to love other people than you love you. Most people will give to everybody else and forget them. Most people will pour from an empty cup.
Yep.
Most people will believe God that He's going to do something amazing and spectacular and major and record breaking in somebody else's life, but won't believe it for theirs. And so it's easier for people to love other people than to think that they deserve it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's going to make somebody cry right there
Yeah.
because they don't even realize you deserve it too.
Amen. Yep.
Like you deserve a healthy marriage, you deserve a healthy relationship. And sometimes we don't even get what we want because we don't even believe we deserve it.
Mm. Yeah. And we have to rewire our thinking when it comes to that, you know. But yeah.
Mm.
So those are all the questions. So
Thank you. I
Dr.
hope I
Amy,
answered them
oh no,
profoundly.
powerful, no, powerful segment. No, I'm grateful that you were able to stop by on a platform. Let everyone know how they can get in touch with you. Let us know about the books, any events you got coming up. Let us know.
Well, a lot of the events I have, if you're in the Las Vegas area, I have some events coming up locally and then some stuff that's nationally. So you could always find any up and coming events on any of my social media platforms. I'm like Dr. Rucker on X. I'm Dr. Rucker on TikTok. I am Dr. Amy on IG. I'm Dr. Amy on Threads. My website is amyrucker.com, where you could go to the store and there's different like it's so funny because I have like this ebook that I created and it's like 10 rules to
Mm,
fighting. Um, it's like basically conflict resolution and it talks about those types of fighters. So I think that's on there and then we'll drop a link in here where we'll keep it, we'll give it to y'all for free for a little bit and just lock it
mm,
in for his audience. Yeah, that's how you find me. And so I did write a new book. I have a book called Relationship Roadmap. I should have
mm.
brought that book out. And the funny thing is, something said, grab this book. And I didn't even
Yeah.
grab it. And then I also wrote a book recently. It's called Ready, Set, Grow. But this is a devotional for women. Basically, it's a devotional 31 days of growing in their gifts, their grace, and their God given purpose.
Mm,
And this book is a game changer. I mean, I get emails from all old text messages,
yeah.
inboxes like, hey, this book pushed me like into wanting to get remarried, into going for
Mm,
the promotion, into like starting the business. It really pushes you from the sideline, like, hey, you're waiting for the perfect time and it's never gonna come. So I think I said too much. You got me talking.
no, you're good. No, and so all of that can be on your website.
Yes, just amyrucker.com. You can find it there.
Okay, awesome. For sure. No, I'll have everything linked in the description below. So, for those who want to go and get your books, everything will be linked below. Go connect with Dr. Amy. Go follow her on
Yay,
her
yay, yay,
platforms. Yeah, this has been a phenomenal episode. We've been doing a lot of inboxing on threads and trying to make all this work. And so to actually make
y'all,
this,
he was being a hater. That's how I almost had to get him one time because he was talking about Shador Sanders, and I was like, ah.
I'm
Listen, when I say that is my assignment from God in this season, I'd be praying for that baby right there.
so maybe when he start, because I'm from Cleveland, so born and raised, so I
Oh, are
understand.
you?
Yeah, so I understand heartbreak, right? And so I not only do I like Shador, but I'm a Browns fan, unfortunately. But yeah, so it's
Yeah.
yeah,
So
so I
we
speak from the heart
connected by default
by
because
default.
I'm a Sanders fan. We just happen to be a part of the Browns, so I got to root for I got to root for the Browns. Even though
Understand.
I don't like what y'all doing, but
I don't like it either, but
whew, we're gonna have
yeah.
to do a whole nother segment just
Oh yeah, when Shador start, maybe I'll bring you on the show and we'll have we'll unpack we'll unpack the game or something. I don't know.
oh, because I just it brings out the worst in me. I didn't realize football can literally bring out the worst in anybody.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Yeah, so we'll have to do that. Who knows? You never know.
All
Well,
right.
Brave Hearts community, you heard it here. Go connect with Dr. Amy. Go get her books. Go follow her on social media. As you can see, she dropped wisdom bombs for a whole hour, just wisdom all over the place. So go and connect with her. If you are watching this, make sure you hit the like button, give us those likes, and make sure you share this video in your group chat. You never know who might need this episode. It's like four of y'all in the group chat. And so just drop it in there. Watch the video and then y'all talk about it in your group chat afterwards. And so that's four more views for my for my YouTube channel. If you are listening via podcast, make sure you leave a rating and review. By doing so, it'll put you in the drawing for a free Amazon gift card. Who doesn't like free stuff? This is Sean Heineman with my special guest. Is it this way? Uh, Dr. Amy. And we are